Hello my intelligent friends, welcome back to Tea and Lit. In today's video we are going to be doing the Dark Academics book tag, which was co-created by Emma from the YouTube channel Emma and Carolyn Reads. Very excited. They started this book tag last summer, I think, or earlier this year, I guess. I don't know when this is going out, but I had so much fun watching everybody's videos and inspired me to kind of explore dark academia, and so I'm going to do the tag today. In our serenity mug, which says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I want to change, it's just water. There's no tea today. But that's okay. As you guys know, we film a bunch of videos in the day, so there's just water right now. Who knows where we'll be later? The Dark Academia book tag. Question number 1, what is your favorite academia or dark movie and book? My new favorite Dark Academia book is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. It is one of my favorite books of 2020, and I will put a link to my review of it somewhere in the iCards. My favorite new Dark Academia movie is going to be Knives Out with Chris Evans and a whole slew of people. The guy who played Steve Nash when my mom was watching that when I was a kid, and Jamie Lee Curtis. It was a really great, and James Bond was in that movie. He's got a real name, Daniel Craig. Loved that movie. It's Clue on the big screen. I love the game Clue, even though I suck at it. So I really loved that movie. So yes, If We Were Villains and Knives Out. I feel like everybody says Dead Poet Society, which I do love, and it is very, obviously dark academia, but I did love Knives Out. Awesome, awesome movie. Question number 2, what dead poet would you like to have a drink with? Now, the obvious answer is Shakespeare, but I feel like I would say that all the time for every question. So I'm gonna go with Maya Angelou. She only passed away a few years ago, and she was an absolute treasure, not just to the African-American community, but to the literature community at large. And she was an absolute gem and is a really great read. I don't read a lot of poetry, but the poetry that I tend to look for, it tends to be Maya Angelou or Shakespeare. Question number 3, what is your favorite painting or sculpture? My favorite painting is called Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Grand Châtelet. It is by George Seurat, who was a great French artist, and it's housed at my local museum, the Art Institute of Chicago. I love this style that he used with all of the little dots of paint. I think it's just such a reflection of kind of like life at large. And so when I go to the Art Institute, I typically go straight to that painting and just sit there for like a few minutes in awe of this masterpiece. And it's way bigger than you get the scale of when you're looking at it on a computer or whatever. So absolutely my favorite painting of all time. Question number 4, what is your favorite architectural marvel? Now, I cannot pronounce this because it's German. Neuschwanstein Castle. It is the castle that inspired the Disney Cinderella castle, and it's up on a mountain, and it looks like it's gonna fall off, but it's big, and it's grand, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely my favorite architectural marvel, and I remember growing up looking at the Disney castle and being, oh, how beautiful it is, and I think that from looking at it, on the movies, but Disney World, if you ever go to Disney World, they actually designed it so it visually gets smaller at the top, so it gives it the illusion of being bigger than it is, which I think is fascinating. But this castle looks massive and magnificent. So the Neuschwanstein Castle, Neuschwanstein, I don't know how to say it. Neuschwanstein? I can say pretzel. German is not my language. What Shakespeare play would you like to be the lead in? Rosalind from If You Like It. She is a beast. She is ferocious, and she is powerful, and she is strong, and she is magnificent. And I think she is just one of the funnest Shakespeare characters. So we haven't read As You Like It yet. We'll have to do that at some point in the future. Question number 6, how many languages do you speak? I speak a little bit of Spanish, and I speak an even less amount of Italian. And then what question would you like to learn? What language do you like to learn? I obviously speak English sometimes. I would like to improve my Spanish, get even more fluent in it. I'd say that I'm close to conversational, but I don't know if I'm fluent. I don't know how you like gauge fluency in a language though. And I'd love to learn Italian. I can do very, very basic things in Italian. I think it's the most beautiful language in the entire world. And so I would like to become fluent in Italian. I feel like I've answered a question similar to this before. Those would be my top 2 languages. What is your favorite quote from poetry, prose, plays, or etc.? Hell is empty, all of the devils are here. That is another Shakespeare quote from The Tempest. I find it absolutely hilarious and in the year 2020 kind of true. Question number 8. What fictional character's death is your ideal way to go? Eddard Stark. Easy, 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 quick, straightforward, to the point. I don't want to spend too much time suffering. I don't want to spend too much time like lamenting over it. Get it done. For those of you who don't know, Eddard Stark is from Game of Thrones, if you watch the shows, or Song of Ice and Fire series, which is the books by George R.R. Martin. I don't know why you don't know Game of Thrones, because it was kind of like the most popular television series of all time. Broke the internet like every year. But Ned Stark gets a quick, clean death, and well, maybe not clean, quick. I'd like to die quick. That's what I would like. Question number 9. What university or college would you most like to attend? I think this is kind of like a cop-out answer, but Oxford in the UK. It looks like a beautiful school. It's a prestigious school. And I just love to go to the UK. I say all the time, I do not currently have a passport. I will have to get a passport at some point in the future because it's like a thing that my state is going to require soon. I've never been out of the country, and I say all the time, if I ever got to the British Isles, I probably wouldn't come back because it seems such a magnificent place with such storied history and architecture, and I would really just spend the whole time at the Globe Theatre. That's probably what I would end up doing. I would go to the UK and just hang out in the Globe Theatre all the time. That's what I would do. Next up, question number 10. What is your murder weapon or method of choice? Let me show you what I have here. Something from one of these books is what would be my murder weapon of choice. I am obsessed. I have developed a new appreciation for herbal medicine, and I have spent a lot of time purchasing and looking through some wonderful herbal medicine books. So I would find a way to poison somebody with plants. There is this beautiful garden. I can't remember. I think it's in France maybe. And it's a poison garden. There was some duchess who didn't want a garden like everybody else's. So she planted exclusively poisonous plants, which I find fantastic. Like the groundskeeper has to like wear a gas mask to go and service the plants. And I just think that would be so much fun. So I would, not to be a weirdo, but I would probably kill somebody with poison. It is a woman's weapon, so I've heard. But these are all of my current stash of herbal medicine books that is often being added to because I believe herbal medicine is the way to go. Modern medicine has its place, but you know, we have so many issues that can really be solved with herbal medicine that I don't know why we don't do it. I was a really sick child, and I imagine I would have had a different experience with health and health care if I had used herbs instead of amoxicillin for literally everything. So that's that. I would use poison as my murder weapon of choice. What mythology would you most like to be a part of? Celtic mythology. Oh my gosh, so much fun. I read the A Court of Thorns and Roses series last year, sometime in the recent past, and I got kind of obsessed with them more again, and so then I went into like this whole Google pit of doom, I guess, learning about Celtic mythology and the great oak trees. And so yeah, I need an oak tree in the middle of my garden now, and I would love to be part of Celtic mythology. I think it's so much fun. Maybe not as the Morrigan, but I do love Celtic mythology and Celtic, particularly ancient Celtic culture. And as I said, I am obsessed with the British Isles, so that all adds up. Question number 12. If you had a PhD, what would you choose to do it in? My background is in early childhood development. I would just dig a little bit deeper into that and work on early childhood literacy or special education literacy. I have worked with children with special needs who are differently abled, and they are so challenging in like the most fun and exciting way. And so finding ways to teach them hands-on, brain activated ways to learn things, particularly reading, which is something I'm very passionate about, I think would be so much fun. Or in herbal medicine, I would get a PhD in herbalism of some kind, and to figure out how to support my community through healthcare using natural materials. And herbal medicine is not like that weird. I feel like people, particularly the people I know, think it's kind of like wonky, but all the way up until the war, like people were using herbal medicines derived from herbal compounds. I watched a really interesting documentary about the Second World War, and it was talking about how everybody in the community, even those who were left on the home front, had to do really important work to help with the war efforts. And one of the things that they asked children to do was to go down the roads and to pick different weeds, because those weeds were used in the medicines that were then manufactured and sent overseas to support the men and the women in the war efforts. So herbal medicine is not some wonky idea. It's not something that's like witchcraft or, I don't know, crazy and all, what's the word? It's not all fake. It's not all mumbo jumbo. I think some people think that a lot of herbalism is mumbo jumbo, and the reality is a lot of the drugs that we have today are derived from chemical compounds of the past. And so there are a lot of herbs that have been legit tested in laboratories and are found to be almost as effective, just as effective, or in some ways more effective than the traditional medicines that we use. And so I am a huge fan of herbalism. So in conclusion, I would get a PhD in either special education literacy focused for very early childhood development, little kids, 3, 4, 5 years old, or herbal medicine. Those would be my two. I don't know if you can study either of those things at Oxford, so I don't know if that works. Next up, question number 13. Which fictional character would you die for? Samwise Gamgee. Did Tolkien along with A Frolic Through Fiction and Book's Nest. And I love Samwise Gamgee. Everybody needs a Sam in their life. My brother is my Sam, and Samwise Gamgee is my dude because he tries so hard to keep you on the right track. So hard. And he's just a good guy, and he loves potatoes. I, too, love potatoes. Okay, rapid fire. Woohoo! Leather-bound or cloth-bound? Leather-bound 100%. Dog-eared or highlighted pages? Highlighting pages, which is so funny. I know, just a little thing. I find dog-eared pages to be like a violation against the books, but highlighting pages and annotating in the book, totally no problem. I don't know why. That's just like some crazy Lexi psychology there. Sculptures or painting? By a hair, it's paintings. I do love sculptures, but when it comes to my most favorite piece of art, it is a painting. Piano or violin? I played violin as a kid, hate the instrument now. I think I hate it because it sounds like my voice, so I pick piano. Although the violin music that we play in our videos is composed by our great-grandmother, in case you didn't know that. Information on the woman performing it and the organization that performs it is in the description box of all of our videos, because we are so grateful for them letting us use our great-grandmother's work. Films or theater? Theater, because you can go to the movies when it's not COVID anytime you want. You can go on a Tuesday morning. The theater makes a day. You got to take a day to go to the theater. So I'm all about theater. Poetry or prose? I go with prose. As I said, I don't reach for poetry enough. And there's no explanation for it. There's no excuse for it, but I do tend to reach for prose over poetry. And I will be making an adjustment on that hopefully sometime in the future. Museums or bookshops? Buy a hair museums, and it's for the exact same reason of theater or films. And that is because I can go to the bookstore from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, Sunday, Monday through, I don't know the hours of my bookstore. I don't go on the weekends. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So if I can go all the time, why would it be so special? It is special. I enjoy it, but I'm going to go with museums because I make a day out of going to the museum. Take the train into the city, go to the Art Institute, go to the planetarium. There's all sorts of wonderful museums in the city. And even if I'm not going to the city, there's a county museum that's like not far from here that is really lovely. The smell of books or the smell of coffee or tea. I do love the smell of coffee, even though I don't drink coffee. I know it's hard to tell with my energy levels, but I'm gonna go with the smell of a good pre-loved book. Absolutely divine. Fountain pen or typewriter, she says as she waves a pen. This is a ballpoint pen, but that's okay. I'm going to go with a fountain pen. I actually don't like typewriters. I know. Does that make me terrible? Probably. I'm sorry. New or used books. They're called pre-loved. Okay? Pre-loved books all the way. That is the Dark Academia book tag. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I will try to remember to link Emma and Carolyn Marie's videos, and check out all the people who have done this book tag. There have been so many wonderful, wonderful book tags, and it's so cool to hear everybody's views and opinions on things, and to see where, you know, we all kind of intersect. Everybody wants to go to Oxford. As I said, everybody loves the Dead Poets Society. Everybody's gonna pick Shakespeare for stuff, so it's a lot of fun, and to see where people are obviously wrong about dog-earing pages. Just kidding. Have a great one, you guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.